profile. I'm sorry I've been a little late on it, but you know, I am the police, so I'm finally getting around to it. So let's go ahead and get into the deck. Maybe I should turn them this way. The cards look a little bit better this way. Okay. Main core is angel feathers. They involve ciphering through your hand and exchanging cards in your hand, angel feather units, for cards in your damage zone, which can be used for getting a defender, getting a grade 3 for later, and some have a special ability where cards are added from your hand to your damage zone. They increase in power. So my grade 0 here, my standoff unit, is Miracle Feather Nurse. And when she's ridden by her sister here, Heavenly Injector, she is allowed to look at the top 7 cards of your deck and see if you have either Fate Healer or Gerdial or Cosmo Healer or Gerdial, and you can add that unit to your hand. It's not a superior ride, but it does get the next grade, so you can, you know, be one step ahead of your opponent. It also mills out your deck just a little bit. Top 7 cards, nice lucky chance. And then if you get Fate Healer or Gerdial, she allows you to take 1 card, which is her cost, from your hand to your damage zone. Take a card in your damage zone and add it to your hand. Pretty much that's utilizing certain abilities, such as, like I said, Million Ray Pegasus. They allow you to, if a card's added into your hand from your damage zone, this unit will get plus 2,000. Another unit that does the same is the grade 1 Thousand Ray Pegasus. Cards added to your hand, add to your damage zone from your hand. This card gets plus 2,000. This even works if this is the starting Vanguard or it's in the rear guard, and just say for instance you allow a damage to go through. Your unit will get plus 2,000, and it will decrease the amount of attacks that your opponent can have because their powers significantly weakening. And the same thing for the grade 3 version, which is the Phoenix Calamity Flame. Cards are added to your damage zone. This card gets plus 2,000. This can be done several ways. Not only can Gerdial do it, but Gerdial can only do it once. Once she's ridden, that's pretty much it. You can only do that ability once. Even up to our grade 3 version, which is Cosmo Healer or Gerdial, one of the big boys. Each one of them, as long as one of them is in the soul, they get plus 1,000. Only for the Vanguard ability. It makes it the strongest Vanguard that you can have. Our Gerdial here has another ability which allows you to, if the attack successfully goes through, the damage can be healed at the cost of 2 by discarding a copy of herself. Of course, like I said, this only works for the Vanguard ability. If she's in the rear guard, she's useless. Or you can just use her for, you know, ciphering cards from your hand and exchanging cards in your damage zone for the cards in your hand. Cards that allow you to do that would be these Happy Bell Nuciels, Love Machine Nuciel, and there's Happy Bell. So yes, Battle Cupid Nuciel, they're all sisters actually. If you can all kind of let's get a glance of them. Happy Bell, Battle Cupid, and Love Machine Gun. They each allow you to take a card from your hand and put it into your damage zone and swap the damage out. This one only works if it's put into the Guardian. This one only works if it's placed into the rear. And the last one is a grade 0, but it adds into the soul. The main emphasis of the deck is to add things into your soul so you can play the biggest creature that it has, the Mobile Hospital Feather Palace. This ability happens when you have 5 damage and 8 cards in your Vanguard circle. The first one, of course, is Soul Charge. That easily helps. The second one, if this card attacks and its attack successfully makes it through, depending on the number of Angel Feather units that you have in your Vanguard rear circles, you can heal 1 point of damage. Talk about the game changer. So, say if you have 5 units, the attack successfully goes through, you heal 5 points of damage, which means your opponent will have to work extra hard in order to try and build up the damage that they created. Another unit is Core Memory Armoros. She pretty much helps you draw, but she does cost 2 cards in your damage zone in order for her ability to activate, only when the attack has successfully happened. The main thing about Angel Feathers is, because of their ability that swamps out, you need cards to stay in your hand constantly. So it's kind of a win-win situation, because if you don't have the cards that allows you to switch out, it's not going to work. My triggers here, I mainly focused on 4 critical triggers. I should probably change that up. The main emphasis here is these heal triggers, because these heal triggers, as long as they have been played in the rear guard, have boosted someone, they can return instantly into the deck. There are 4 of them, and you can pretty much play around with them because they allow you to just recycle damage constantly. So they'll go back to the deck, heal trigger plus 5,000, and heal 1 point of damage. And if it ends up in your damage zone, you use the other Nociel's ability, which allows you to swap the damage from your hand into your damage zone and take this card, which also is a 10,000 defense point guard. It also has, Nociel is also stand trigger, so I focus more on stand trigger, because if I get my attacks to go with the amount of damage that has been ciphered between 1,000 Ray Pegasus, Million Ray Pegasus, and the Phoenix, those 3 right there will cause my opponent to kind of tremble, because they won't be able to, stop it if you have enough. If you don't have enough, then don't try the move. It might backfire. Just a word of thought. Then we have your other units, which are, your strongest 8,000 is Burst Shot Berthenio. Lancet Shooter. It's the counterblast one. It gets plus 1,000. This unit right here, when the number of damage in your opponent's damage zone is higher than your opponent's, it gets plus 4,000. Helps with boosting the Vanguard. Iron Hat Masutami. When this card attacks and the damage in your damage zone is equal to your opponent's, it gets plus 4,000. Great too. You got Drill Shot Genio. She pretty much, is it she? Yeah. Well, it's an Angel Feather that gets boosted by 2,000 for being boosted. And finally, if anyone has never seen these before, we have Lightning Charger and her partner, Circular Saw Curiel. There's your view of those. Now, Circular Saw Curiel has the Limit Break ability, plus 5,000. And Lightning Charger is a specific unit for this unit, because if it boosts it, has a Soul Blast. You drop 1 plus 5,000 additional attack to the power of Curiel. Curiel's first other ability, it only happens once. When this card hits the Vanguard circle, you can counterblast 1. It'll take 1 unit from your 1 grade 3, and you can kind of say Ergurdiel, but she's 10,000, or Mobile Feather Hospital, that's 10,000, or the Phoenix Calamity Flame. The combination really works with the 1,000 Ray Pegasus, Million Ray Pegasus, and the Phoenix Calamity Flame. You swap 1 damage, or you swap, let me say this the other way. You swap this unit from your damage zone first. Then you take a card from the top of your deck and put it in your damage zone. So it brings you a brand new unit And they get plus 2,000 thanks to Curiel's ability, which takes a card and put it in your damage zone. Henceforth, you should mainly emphasize on the fact that these guys involve ciphering the damage. These are the main units of the deck. Once you're able to, master your damage, and even you can let the damage come to you if need be, because then the unit gets plus 2,000. And if their opponent has multiple attacks and they're not enough, you can easily guard against the rest of them. But Circular Saw Curiel, she's the biggest one of the deck. She can power up to easily at 26,000 with Lightning Charger and her Limit Break, which gives you plus 5,000 when it attacks. Pretty much that right there becomes your core of the deck if you want to do it that way. But other than that, Miracle Feather Nurse is pretty much the stand-in. I would probably change it a little bit. I just haven't gotten around to it. But they play very nicely. They're very competitive. And playing around with the heal triggers, very important. Because you want to recycle those heal triggers so much that you're not going to lose a trigger. You'll just lose, you'll pretty much lose another unit, but it won't be the trigger unit. So, anyway, there you go. That's the Angel Feather deck profile that I promised. It's a very nice deck. It can be very competitive and very annoying to some opponents because then it's like, oh, you can do that? And you're ciphering through damage. But you're basically building up for either 3 units. Mobile Hospital Feather Palace, Circular Saw Curiel, or Cosmo Healer or Gurdio. Of course, Cosmo Healer would need a lot more boosting power. She becomes 11,000 with her other peeps in the soul. You can also have her boosted by, 1,000 Rapexes if you play with damage. Or have Clutch Rifle Angel right behind, and that will give her a plus 4,000 for a grand total of 21,000. And then you'll have to rely on your triggers. So, there you go. That's your deck. Angel Feather profile. It's very nice. It was new. It came out of Breaker of Limits.